Those involved have been present since the dawn of history, hitched stubbornly against sand and wind. And the voice of the desert has crossed the centuries.
With each new dawn, I see the sun god rise on the far bank of the Nile. His first ray is for my face, which is turned towards him. And for 5,000 years, I have seen all the suns men can remember come up in the sky. I saw the history of Egypt in its first glow, as tomorrow I shall see the east burning with a new flame. I am the faithful warden at the foot of his law, so faithful, so vigilant, so near him that he gave me his face for my own. I am a pharaoh's companion, and I am he, the pharaoh. Through the ages, I received many names from the people who came to me in adoration.
Oh, Harmakis, you are my life's safeguard.
Horus, protect me, oh great God, that I might see you every day.
Lord of the heavens, sovereign of eternity.
But the name which has remained with me is that given to me by a Greek traveler, the father of history, Herodotus. He called me Sphinx, as if I were from his land, and that name is now mine. Close to the Nile, I watch over the plateau of Gizeh, over all its monuments of modest or fantastic height. They are tombs.
Civilizations are like islands on the ocean of barbarism. Over this one, the Sphinx has gazed and watched for 5,000 years. At the foot of such mountains of stone, everything becomes minute and insignificant. Man is an insect. And yet, it was men who built these massive monuments. And the names of pharaohs whose tombs they are have crossed the ages. Their glory has defeated time.
This is the tomb of Cheops, pharaoh of the 4th dynasty, 4,500 years ago. Here is the great pyramid which he built to defend himself against death.
455 feet high. He achieved the building of the highest monument then known to man. The area it covers is vast enough to hold St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome, the cathedrals of Florence and Milan, Westminster Abbey and St. Paul's. 3 million blocks of stone, some of them weighing 30 tons, were assembled by Cheops' faithful workmen to achieve this fabulous construction. At the center of it, the pharaoh planned his inner chamber, where his mummy was to lie in splendor for eternity.
At the foot of this pyramid, in the rock, a temple was built, and there were kept the barges of Cheops, the barges of night. In these large wooden vessels, the dead pharaoh could continue his voyage in darkness towards eternity. But all that remains of him is a small ivory figure, showing a noble face, the nose aquiline, the jaw determined, and the hieroglyphs representing the name he gave to his pyramid. Cheops dominates the horizon.
The Pyramid of Khephren. It too bears an inscription, Khephren is great. Yet, out of respect for his father Cheops, Khephren built his pyramid on a slightly smaller scale. Each side of the base measuring 710 feet, the angle being 52 degrees, it reaches a height of 445 feet. The brilliant covering of polished limestone on the apex originally extended over all four sides, adding to the magnificence of the pyramid.
The face of Khephren has come down to us sculpted in green diorite streaked with white, a rare stone he brought back from an expedition. Here he is, close to us, in the guise of the Sphinx, carved in rock near his tomb.
Mykerinus. A third monumental tomb was soon to complete this immense funeral site of Gizeh and make it one of the wonders of the world. Though smaller, the Pyramid of Mykerinus is perhaps the most impressive for being the culminating point of a vast design. Having built it, the workmen climbed down from its granite flanks and, laying down their tools, looked up with wonderment.
Great and powerful was Memphis, the capital city in the plain which joined Upper and Lower Egypt.
Great and powerful were the pharaohs, who on this side of the Nile built for eternity. Its aim accomplished, the fourth dynasty collapsed. But the pyramids still stand. And the inscription on the one that completed the design claims, "Divine is Mykerinus."
Here three pharaohs reign, Cheops, Khephren, and Mykerinus. Sarcophagi may be empty, wrappings unwound, yet Cheops, Khephren, and Mykerinus still reign, bearing the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. They reign over their court, buried round them. over these small pyramids where their queens lie, over the tombs of their ministers, over the whole hierarchy, sleeping forever. Chamberlains, high priests, buffoons, architects, courtesans, each in his proper place in these funerary chambers, which are called mastabas. For this is a royal palace of the dead, with triumphal perspectives, pavilions, corridors, secret rooms, strong walls. It was a city of another world, approachable by the people only as near as the outer temples where their devotion led them.
Coming from the Nile, one ascended by a monumental causeway built on the same colossal scale to the high temple where only the priests lived among the secrets of the mummies. They alone knew for what journey the great barges were being prepared at the foot of the tombs. A journey with the sun. A journey which has lasted 4,500 years. In the maze of this necropolis, let us stand by a tomb like 1,000 others, that of the mother of Cheops, and in it, by the litter marked with golden hieroglyphs, which she had prepared for the eternal journey by her son's side. Neither wind, nor sand, nor centuries could ever entirely silence the voice of the desert.
To defy time forever. I saw Antony and Cleopatra pass, Alexander, Caesar, and Napoleon paused at my feet. I saw the ambitious dreams of conquerors whirling like dead leaves. As my motto, I chose an Arab saying: the world hears time, but time hears the pyramids.
Ancient monuments, it is the pyramids which have always appealed most vividly to man's imagination. Considered from its top downwards, the pyramid is like the sun's rays bursting through a gap in the clouds. It commemorates the greatest victory of all, victory over death. It is the most perfect mansion, the strongest tent, whose great stone sides are both roof and wall, and so carefully sealed that the dream entrusted to it can live to the end of the world. The dream of immortality. To achieve this, embalmers prepared the body for 2 months, emptying it of all but its heart and kidneys. Secrecy of its tomb, attended by a whole crowd of statues, provided with all that was necessary for the journey. There, in the sarcophagus, lay the mummy, to be called on by the soul. For alone and without the body, the soul could not go into the night. And from the depths of this tomb still rises the scent of herbs, cedar oil, resin, and myrrh. But a pyramid is also the perfect combination of simplicity and magnitude, and the interplay of its angles makes the best harmony of shape and volume. It is architecture's purest achievement, because it relies on the straight line alone. Never has the straight line been drawn with more mastery, skill, and strength. Homage must be paid to Imhotep, learned, who with Saqqara conceived and built the archetype of pyramids. Made up of 6 mastabas, it rose gradually in a broken line of steps. The idea had been born. Calculations had begun. The perfect form was there. Among all the objects laid by a dead man's side in his tomb, a scribe's palette is undoubtedly the most precious. From it were drawn the hieroglyphs representing the figures which made possible the fabulous calculations ordering these mountains of stone. A lotus flower for 1,000, a finger worth 10-fold, a tadpole for 100,000, and the scribe's 2 hands joined in prayer for 1,000,000.
Stone by stone it was built from earth to heaven. It was built in a pharaoh's lifetime by 100,000 workmen, united in a mighty surge of faith. Each stone averaged 2.5 tons in weight. 3 million blocks were hoisted up and laid one upon the other. The finest ones of pure granite were dug up in the quarries of Aswan, whence they came by boat, carried by the flooding of the Nile.